I'm recording this. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh, this is hilarious. This is what I get for randomly deciding I'm gonna go do a little mining. Alright. I don't know what that is up there. 52 slime balls.
That's what you get for building your basement a slime chunk.
Well, yeah, it's a river, but still. That was hilarious. Hello out there, this is Terkanil, and welcome back to RxCraft. Hope you enjoyed my little outtake when I went down to my mine earlier. I found it also doubles as a slime farm. But today's episode, and probably one or two more after this, depending on how long it actually takes, is going to be working on the area outside the front door. Decided this needs work. So we're going to end up tearing down the area going out front here and make a better walkway so I can get out of my little valley here. I'm probably going to turn it into something like an amphitheater design. So a semicircle that will go out this way with a path going right up the middle. Might end up taking a path out the side as well. Haven't quite decided on that part, but need to get digging since I need to make some room. First I need to figure out how big to make it and how much I'm going to have to clear out. But I'm going to hide inside for night while I get that work done. So as I'm preparing to clear out the area out front here, I realize I'm going to need more storage space. We're going to have a little bit of a further demonstration on it later, but we realized with thermal expansion in the 1.7.10 version of the mod, we have this new item here called a cache. It works kind of like a barrel from, I forget what other mod it is, but this one is a little bit more interesting in how it works, and it took us a little bit to figure it out. We finally got it working, and now we know how to both input, output, and alternate ways to do it. So I'm just going to go with the simple method, and I'm going to end up replacing these two chests here and everything inside of it with caches. So you'll see this area right here change here shortly. So as I said, I'm using this as a miniature storage here. I've actually fleshed this out a little bit further now that I've replaced or taken out the machinery. You can see a little bit of what I've got in here. And this will be moved into the machine room once I actually determine how I'm going to end up building that room, since that idea has now changed a little bit with that little discovery. So let me get this replaced, and then I get to start digging. The joys of digging. So it is now about 24 hours since my last cut, so I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've been doing since then. It's quite extensive. I did not record any of it as I didn't see a great need for it. Most of it I'll explain in a moment. In front of us, I replaced most of the storage here with the thermal expansion caches. Hello, sign. So as you can see here, I've got all these things stored with different types of blocks: sand, stone, cobble, dirt, sugarcane, cooked beef, pumpkins, watermelon, netherwort, quartz, etc. I've still got some chests, as I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to handle them, like my wood stash here, which is all my wood. A few random seeds and bones and such. Probably end up making a bin for paper, as I've got enough of that now. Over here we've got, wheat, apples, and lily pads, which I've still got to sort that one out still. Then down here is, chicken and eggs and pork. Here's potatoes. I'm just letting that be for now. in case I need some other bin. Got my coal and coal powder right here. This is sawdust, which is a output from the sawmill from storage or thermal expansion. Sorry. And then here's the flowers I have for dyes. If I run back into the machine room here, I've actually, while I was doing the spider episode, I decided to raise the ceiling of this room, so it's now up one block, and I've allowed the lights a little bit of a stylized look now. Gives the room a bigger feel. I've added a little trash bin over here. This thing just, anything that's dumped in here gets sucked into a void pipe, which is down right about there. You can kind of see it right there in the corner. I got my obsidian gold here. Since I got enough gold, I can actually show it in that. We got about 3,000 or 3,400 gold in there right now. Book and quills, anvil, brewing station. I've got my fluid transposer so that I can fill water bottles quite specifically, so I can dump empty water bottles in here. They get dumped into here, and then as the filled bottles get shoved into the cache here. And below the floor here, I've got another reservoir to keep the water in here filled. This guy is the EnderIO enchanter. Allows you to basically choose a specific enchant, stick a book and quill and a certain material, and you get a specific enchant. And if you increase the number of the end item, it increases the enchantment cost and the level. So if I stuck, like, 3 dark steel in here with a book and quill, I would have protection 3. To that end, I've given myself a whole new set of armor. Some of it was given to me by Am. So I've got my dark leggings here, which I've had empowered. So this gives me a speed 2. And the empowered means that it takes, it armors me better and takes lower durability damage, so it will last much longer on its own. Getting it that far cost me about, say, 40, about 70 levels, give or take. I forget exactly. This one, I've stuck the 2 empowerments on it, so that it will last a bit longer on its own, and the power usage is higher, or power capability is higher, as it has an own internal storage for power. I give it the jump 1, so I can now jump higher with just the boots, which also means when I'm running across, for example, outside and go up just a single block without stairs, I just run up it. Quite nifty, that. And then I just barely got this empowered. One of the last things I did. I still have yet to give it some of the other pieces. Like, I was going to give it the night vision, so I'm preparing to brew some potions of night vision so I can get that in. And then I'll be working about, like, the basic capacitor so that it will have a higher internal power storage. So that's cost me quite a bit. Oh, the other one I got here is the Ender that Am gave me initially. I've now given it as much empowered as as I was able to produce at the time. So it's got empowered 3, has an internal power storage of 250,000. As you can see here, it allows me to, when I hit an Enderman, the Enderman cannot teleport, which makes hunting Enderman very easy now, especially with the other, the leggings and boots. Then I've also added Smite 2, Unbreaking 3, and Looting 3 on top of all that. As a result, I now have a decent amount of Ender Pearls. So anytime I hit night, speaking of which, I go hunt an Enderman. So I'm going to run outside and actually do a little bit of hunting of Enderman. But while I'm out here, I'm also going to show you this. So I've dug out some stairs here. This will be the stairs going up to the desert area. A little platform there is the baseline. I'll be changing how all this looks as I go forward with this. I've added stone bricks here slowly as a perimeter, so I know where exactly I'm basing my oval upon. Go away. And so I'll be digging out much of this area right here so that I can have a bowl look right here. Not quite sure what I'll be doing over there yet, but I'll figure it out when I get there. So I'm going to go do a little more Enderman hunting and stick up some more brick. I'm also going to be making my life I cannot talk. My life a little bit easier on figuring out where my blocks go, as I'm just going to use side effect to jump. I'm just going to put cobble down like this, so I can keep the outline a little bit easier. As I'm apparently getting lost in where my stones are supposed to go. So that will help me keep track of it a little bit better. But I will be back after I go kill me some Endermen. It's still loading. I just noticed this up here. I think Am is up to something. I'll have to ask him about it a little bit later. Dang zombies. So the night of hunting came out with 13 ender pearls and a few other bits and knobs here. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop these guys in with the rest. Getting quite a stash there now. Alright, the perimeter that I'm actually going to be working in primarily is now marked out here. So we have stone as the outer perimeter, cobble as the inside of that perimeter. You can see it all there. Had to go down a little bit on that side just due to the terrain over there. Not quite sure what I'll be doing over there as yet. Maybe having to bring that up a little bit. But that side may not change too much. I also made it just arcing it out and taking out that bit right there. But for the moment, I think I'm going to start just taking everything down one step at a time, going down to the floor, and see how far that gets me. And we can see how that looks at that point. So I have the general digging done here. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm not so sure if my original design is quite what I had intended. I think I'm going to have to end up taking the outside perimeter out a little bit more, which means I get to figure out new radius on everything. Let me tinker with this a little bit longer and see if I can come up with a better design that will maybe go off in that direction just a little bit further. This one's almost working, but not quite there yet. Yeah, let me just take a little bit longer and see what I can come up with. So this is the current iteration of the half ellipse that I've got out here. I pushed the entire thing back a few squares so that I could have the full 6 on the side, which matches the model I'm currently using. So you can see where I was before and now where we are. So I'm going to end up digging this down a bit further. Then I can see about what type of terrain I'll be using once I get down there. This I'm probably going to fill in. It's probably as well over here, just to match, so the area will flow a little bit better. And I'll end up evening out some of this sand right over here and below me. So I get that done. And since it keeps hitting night, you might even see me run out into the desert and go hunt down some Endermen. So there you saw a little bit of digging, which turned into a night of ender hunting. And it was a good night. I think that's actually the best haul I've gotten so far. Well, I'm going to go deposit all the stuff in my inventory and get back to digging. So this is the view from below as for how far I've managed to get so far. I'm considering leaving the area right about here as a bit of a tier so that I can put dirt down and landscape a little bit. Still trying to figure that out though. Looking at it now, it's a lot harder than I thought it was when I first started building this thing. Now let's see what I can come up with here. It's getting kind of late in the day though, so I'm going to take a short break and get some shut-eye and pick it up tomorrow and see maybe if, sleeping off helps out any. So I've been looking at this for a bit now, and while I'm liking the first few rows, how I've done it so far, after that, a little more questionable, because it keeps the same pattern no matter what I'm doing, even though it should be changing. Doesn't change a whole lot though, especially up here at the top where it's 7 across and keeps that. So going to have to think a little bit about how I'm going to do this. I'm pulling out the plots modeler again so I can change the oval size. But I'm thinking what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to have it go down to about this tier right here. And then I'm going to bring it in a few blocks and then reshape it down. We'll see if that gives me a look that I like. So I want to get this top one, like right here, you'll see that I've got it into a 5-block space. I'm trying to make something work off of that, but I'm not so good at making rounded shapes, as you can see here. So let me see what I can come up with, and I'll be back. So all of my nights hunting Endermen have yielded quite a number of Ender Pearls. I've never actually tried throwing one of these before, so I want to see how this actually goes. Let's go that way. Meow. Plunk. That's actually kind of nifty. I don't see why other Minecraft YouTubers use them so often. Good way to get around. So, I'm now etching out the inner oval with stone bricks. So I'm going to quickly pop this out and we'll see how this looks. And you can see the upper level up there, and I'm hoping that if I plan this right, that it should scale in the same from that level right there as well. So we'll see how it turns out in just a few moments here. Due to the complexity of this build, I'm going to have to take some more time to figure out what I'm going to be all doing here. And due to a local event called the Salt Lake Comic-Con, I'm taking a break from this, and I'll come back to it in another episode. So for now, I'm going to stick with a couple of smaller projects, and I'm going to be heading back into the machine room for the next part. So the first step I'm going to be pulling here is digging out a little space here, as it's just going to go underneath the floor for the most part. The fluidic transposer I'm going to stick up here, as it will coincide. So the first piece is in there, the igneous extruder, and now we have lava to drop into it. So I have the first half of the mix ready. Woo! And now I'm trying to kill myself. That was smart. And there we have the igneous extruder set and ready to go, going into, by default, cobblestone, which will be processed through it. The rest of the machines I'll be building out here to get our glass. So next up is, I'm going to be going with the sag mill since it has a higher generation on a few things. And we can actually make it a little bit faster. I'm still considering might go at the pulverizer. I'll see how it works. I'll toss a pulverizer in here first and see if that does us any good. Alright, so we have the primary components all in here. We have one igneous extruder down there to give us our cobblestone, as I showed a little bit ago. We have a pair of sag mills, one to process cobblestone into sand, which will also give us gravel. The second to process gravel into flint, which will feed back into the sag mill, the first sag mill. The sand will then feed over to this alloy smelter, which will be turned into glass. The glass will then be fed into the cyclic assembler right here, which has a schematic for making glass bottles. The glass bottles will then be fed through the item conduit here, up to the fluid transposer, fill them with water, and feed them into the reinforced cache. Then this thing can hold a lot. The extra chest up here just so I can manually feed glass bottles that I've emptied back into the process, or into the system. So there we are. I'm just going to need a minute here while I get a couple things set up. I've got some basic item filters I built for the EnderIO filters here. Let's see, this is a extract in and out. So how the filters are made is you combine paper with a hopper. So let me get... I realize I don't have sand on me. Do I have any in the box? No. Yes. And gravel. Excellent. So there's the two pieces that I need. So I will need one. Oops. Gimme. That's a lot of debug information on that thing. This one is insert only. Then we're going to stick this up here. It's only allowed sand. Then we come over to this one. This one is in and out. And did I already use my filter? Oh, there it is. This one is gravel. Insert. Extract doesn't really matter. We have insert here saying sand only. So the resultant flint should feed back into this one. Now I just need a lever. I think I've got it. There we go. The lever is just so I can have control over here. I'm just going to hide this entire thing beneath everything. And if I've got this all built correctly, everything's already set up on using redstone control. And so if we test this now, I should have cobblestone feeding into here. Yep, there it is. This thing should now be processing sand. And this is giving me flint. Flint should be ending back up over here, and perfect. That is working exactly as we wanted. And if this thing is going correctly, looks like it is, we should be seeing last bottle's going someplace. Looks like I've got an error in the system someplace. Let's see what I've got here. Stone without signal. That's right. You should just be... oh. Right there. Insert. Voila. And the entire process is now complete. So we now have an infinite water bottle generator down here. And yes, that was 2 blocks. I love these boots. So, cobble feeds into 1. We get flint to help increase, basically, gravel generation. House fed to here, get our flint. That should end up backing up at some point in time. That won't be too much of a matter. We got our sand that's cooked. Usually 1 to 3 at a time. We can get it going faster. And this gets our bottles. Alright. Yep, that's all going. Perfect. So I'm going to replace... Actually, we can make this go faster. Give me a few minutes while I build me some capacitors to shove in the EnderIO machines here. And I'll pick up once I have those. It'll take me a few minutes since I've got to create the necessary componentry for those. Just to show you. I'm basically going all the way up to octadic. This is the highest level. These are a little expensive as they require the vibrant alloy and glowstone, but I've got plenty of that now. So we're going to be going through basic capacitors, which is 4 gold nuggets, copper ingot, 3 and 2 redstone. Double layer is 2 of those, plus the electrical steel, which is the coal powder and silicon with iron bars. I've already got some of that already mixed up. And then the octadic is 2 of the double layers, plus a glowstone and the vibrant alloy. Vibrant alloy is created by mixing a ender pearl and energetic alloy. Energetic alloy is glowstone dust, redstone, and gold ingots. So I don't have any of that quite yet, but I do have everything else. So give me a few minutes while I get these all put together. And for the ender pearls were necessary, I've been doing a bit of enderman hunting. I've been using some a little bit here, and as you can see, I've still got almost 9 full stacks. Don't have to worry about it. I'll be getting to those eventually here. You'll see that actually probably next episode. But for now, oops, I gotta go toss these in over here. And there we have our 3 octadic capacitors, and these things will just speed up the machines substantially, also increase their base energy reserve to 1 million RF. So, as I shove these in, you'll see that the processing on the cobblestone, wow, that is a difference. So that's the kind of output I'll be looking forward to when it comes to this stuff. So it's going to be going substantially faster than it was before. But that is all for that little bit. I now get to go and toss a whole bunch of stuff into my reserve banks. And I can go back to getting a whole bunch of potions ready. I've already got some up here, primarily instant splashes, as well as a few fire resistance I used for wither hunting and blaze hunting, but we're going to need a little bit more once we head to the end. So, now I get to prepare for doing some heavy brewing. I'll be back. There, the floor is back in, hiding everything once again, so you don't even see it with the Yeti wrench. So all I have to do is pop off this slab floor here, and you can see all the machines down below. And then as a little spice, add the item frame here with the empty bottle next to the chest where empty bottles will end up going. So once they're all used, I can just dump them in there. So do I have any left in here? Nope. But with that, I'm going to go and make me some more potions. And, as you can see, obviously, it is working perfectly. So, I'm going to make me a couple of healing potions here, so I can fill up my bags with all that. But that is all the time that we have for today. I've actually been running long again, so that's how it goes. But there's a little bit more to this project, I think, so I'll have to pick up with that next time. This is Terkanil, signing off.